Thanks, Ange. Pope Francis has had some time to let his new role sink in. Pope Francis opened his first morning as pontiff by praying at Rome's main basilica dedicated to the Virgin Mary. It comes a day after cardinals elected him the first pope from the Americas. The 76-year-old is said to have finished second when Pope Benedict XVI was elected in 2005. Bishop David Ricken, nice enough to join us from the Catholic Diocese in Green Bay to tell us his reaction to the new Pope. And you were just telling me off air, you were a little bit surprised, right, Bishop?
I was, Pete. I had seen the name before, and I saw him when he came in to take his oath as a cardinal to elect a new Pope, but I really didn't know much about him at all. But you know, I think what's really beautiful about this is there's so many Latin American Catholics now. Half of the population is Hispanic, of the Catholics, world's Catholic population is Hispanic. So having a Pope from that region is going to make a big difference, and it's a real vote of confidence and an affirmation of Latin America and the Americas. Pope John Paul II wanted us to see ourselves as the America, you know, so it was interesting that one huge contiguous continent. So
interesting, they said they went to the ends of the earth to find.
Ends of the earth, he said, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about his focus. Will it be any different this time?
Well, they say that he's a very simple, humble man. I think you had mentioned earlier that he takes the mass transit to work. He's a very humble person, simple person. He has a great love for the poor. And his choosing the name Francis, which I think is after Francis of Assisi, says that he's going to have outreach to the poor as one of his major things, or major concentrations. And he also had given a letter to his priests in his diocese. I want you to be out with the people, preaching the gospel, helping them, assisting them in whatever way you can. So it's going to be a new approach to the Holy See and to the See of Peter, and it's going to be very interesting. I think we'll all be on a learning curve. He will, and so will the rest of the world, in knowing how he's going to approach the church's life.
He's 76 years old. Did that surprise you? Did you think that they might?
That was a surprise. I thought maybe they might look for a younger person, especially with this impulse toward the new evangelization, you know, reproposing the gospel once again. But he seems very vibrant, and I think his simplicity will speak volumes to young people. So I don't think there'll be any problem with that. He seems to be able to connect very well. As
far as, we did hear some people say that there might be a pope from North America. There wasn't that situation. Timothy Dolan was mentioned sometimes. Right. What do you think? Will that ever happen? I asked you that the last time too, but do you think that it... Well,
you know, it's interesting. This moving to Latin America now could make a possibility for North Americans as well. But that, of course, that's anybody's speculation. I thought certain things would happen going into this conclave, and it came out entirely differently, and wonderfully so. The Holy Spirit's really in charge of that process.
It's absolutely secret in that conclave, because now we're learning a little bit that he may have been second to Pope Benedict back in 2005, but really, you never know what's going to happen, and it happened so quickly.
It did, and I never had heard that either, that this man was the second last time. So they do keep the pontifical secret pretty well, and but now we know, and so it makes some sense that they would return to somebody they had seen as a priority before.
Yeah. The installation, will you be going to that?
No, I won't be able to go to that. Okay. It's a little too short a time, but I look forward to going to meet him personally within the next few months, and I get to know him a little bit anyway. So.
Do you think there? I wanted to ask you, because some folks are asking, what is a Jesuit? We've heard a lot about that, and I know there's a lot of history, and I don't know if you can boil it down, but could you tell us?
The Jesuits are followers of St. Ignatius of Loyola, and St. Ignatius wanted to make Jesus Christ the center of his order. It's a religious order. They're very known for their teaching, their preaching, education. They have a lot of universities here in our country and around the world. So he was a very highly educated man, but very simple at the same time. He did a lot with priestly formation in seminaries, teaching as professor of philosophy and theology. So he's got a lot of formation, we call it formation background, helping young men prepare for the priesthood, etc.
Now, and you're going to have a special Mass too. Could you tell us about that Mass?
Yeah, we're going to have a special Mass at the Cathedral at 9 o'clock, and I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a Mass of thanksgiving for the selection of our new Pope, and praying to the Holy Spirit to guide him and to bless the Church with his leadership.
Now, it has been exciting. I mean, I don't know if there have, even non-Catholics tell me that they've been extremely excited about this process.
Yes, yeah. And that has been a little bit surprising to me, but pleasantly so. I think people are looking for signs of fidelity, leadership, boldness today. and for kind of an anchor to their lives. And that anchor, we believe, is in Jesus Christ and in the gift of his body, which is the church.
And one last question, when will we see, you know, we say, well, what's going to be his policy, or what is going to be his mission? When do we see that, really?
We won't see that for some time. I think it's going to take him time to get adjusted to being in a whole new place. He's a Vatican outsider, so he'll have to get to know the major players first and make decisions. He'll probably do so somewhat gradually, but I understand his management style, if you could call it that, is pretty direct and decisive. So that's what I'm hearing. I don't know, and we'll find out how he does and how he manages that part. And then I'm sure his outreach to the world will be very effective, I'm sure.
Well, Bishop, thank you again for coming
Pete,
on.
thank you.
And you have a great day.
Yep.
And good day,
You too.
Wisconsin. We'll be right back.